Have you ever taken advice from someone who didn't make it? Most people won't. We're wired to listen to winners, the ones who figured it out, the ones with the results, the accolades, the proof. And that makes sense. But what if I told you? Some of the most valuable lessons you'll ever learn won't come from people who succeeded. They'll come from the ones who didn't, the ones who tried and fell short, the ones who had the dream but lost momentum, the ones who were close but not quite disciplined enough, focused enough, or prepared enough to finish the journey. Hidden in their stories are what I call undiscovered gems, lessons that don't shine at first glance, but hold the power to completely transform your path if you're willing to listen. Because success doesn't just leave clues, failure does too. Here's the truth most people don't want to admit. Failure is rarely random. It's not usually about a lack of talent. It's not always about bad luck. And it's almost never instant. Failure is built slowly. It's the accumulation of missed opportunities, the quiet acceptance of distractions, the hesitation to act when it matters most, the refusal to listen to hard truths. And sometimes it's even deeper than that. It's mindset. A person can have all the potential in the world, but if their mindset is off, if they doubt themselves, avoid discomfort, or resist growth, they will sabotage their own progress. I've seen it. I've lived it. There were goals I set, clear, exciting, meaningful goals that I didn't achieve. Not because I couldn't, but because I didn't execute. I got distracted. I delayed. I ignored advice that could have helped me. I let moments pass so that I can never get back. And at the time, those failures felt heavy. They felt like wasted effort, like proof that maybe I wasn't as capable as I thought. But that wasn't the real problem. The real problem was this. I didn't fully understand why I failed, and that's where most people get stuck. They experience failure. They feel the disappointment, and then they move on too quickly, without extracting the lesson. Or worse, they ignore failure altogether and only chase success stories. But here's what happens when you only listen to winners. You hear polished stories. You hear the highlight reel. You hear what worked. What you don't often hear enough of is what went wrong. You don't hear about the distractions that nearly derailed everything. You don't hear about the poor decisions made behind the scenes. You don't hear about the mindset battles that almost cost them the outcome. And because of that, you walk into challenges unprepared. Not because you're incapable, but because you didn't learn what to avoid. Now imagine this instead. What if you could sit down with someone who failed? And they told you, honestly, this is where I went wrong. This is the moment I lost focus. This is the habit that cost me everything. This is the advice I ignored and wish I hadn't. Would that be valuable? Of course it would. That's the gem. So how do you use failure, yours and others, as a tool for success? It starts with a shift in perspective. 1. Stop dismissing people who didn't succeed. Not everyone who failed is clueless. Some people failed because they were undisciplined. Some failed because they lacked confidence. Some failed because they didn't have the right guidance at the right time. But many of them understand exactly what went wrong. And that insight, it's powerful. If someone tells you, I lost everything because I kept procrastinating, that's not just a story. That's a warning. If someone says, I ignored feedback because I thought I knew better, that's not weakness. That's a lesson. Listen carefully, not blindly, but intentionally. 2. Learn to analyze, not absorb everything. Discernment is key. Not every piece of advice is worth taking. Not every failure story applies to your journey, but inside almost every story there's something useful. Your job is to extract it. Think of it like this. Chew the meat and spit out the bones. Take what strengthens you. Leave what doesn't, but don't walk away empty-handed. 3. Study patterns of failure. Failure is predictable. There are patterns: lack of discipline, poor time management, fear of criticism, inconsistency, overconfidence, and lack of preparation. These patterns repeat across industries, across goals, across people. And once you recognize them, you can interrupt them before they interrupt you. 4. Reflect on your own failures deeply. Don't just say, it didn't work out. Ask, why didn't it work out? Was it a lack of effort? A lack of focus, structure, and belief? Be honest, because honesty turns failure into instruction. Every mistake you've made carries a lesson, but only if you're willing to face it. 5. Use failure as preparation, not punishment. Failure is not the end of your story. It's training. It's feedback. It's a mirror. It shows you where you need to grow, and growth is the foundation of success. Here's the truth. Success leaves clues, but failure leaves instructions. Success tells you what worked. Failure tells you what to avoid. And if you ignore those instructions, you risk repeating the same mistakes, repeatedly. Not because success is out of reach, but because you refuse to learn from what was right in front of you. The undiscovered gems aren't hidden because they're rare. They're hidden because most people don't look for them. So the next time you hear someone talk about their failure, don't tune it out. Lean in. Listen differently. Ask questions. Look beyond the outcome and search for the lesson. Because someone else's mistake can save you time. It can save you energy. It can save you from unnecessary setbacks. And maybe even more importantly, it can prepare you in ways success stories never could. You don't have to experience every failure firsthand to grow. You can learn. You can adapt. You can move smarter. There is nothing new under the sun. The challenges you face have been faced before. The distractions you struggle with have trapped others before. The decisions you're unsure about have already been made by someone else, which means the lessons already exist. The only question is, are you willing to listen? Because hidden in the stories of those who didn't make it are the exact insights that can help you become someone who does. Those are the undiscovered gems. Find them, use them, and let them guide you toward the success you're capable of achieving.